your cell phones out. If you didn't come to the last meeting, something I'm doing that's interactive is a fun quiz to see how well you are. This time, it is going to be a leaderboard, so if you win, you get a little prize at the end too. All right, is everyone ready? So what you do is you can get the QR code, log right in. You probably should turn on your Wi-Fi, yes.
You do that for me.
So this quiz today is going to be about main listing platforms. All right. Is everyone ready? We're going to get going. All right. First question. Oh, just more. Okay, we'll give you a second. Or not.
It'll be on your phone too.
Okay, name the program main listing offers where that you can pull market stats. And this is information you all should know. If you haven't been into this, it's right on your beginner page when you log in. And it's really, really useful. I use this all the time. The analytics is right on your main page, and if you haven't logged in, it's super useful. You can do a really nice chart of days on market, everything to give to your clients. Who's that? Who's number one?
Dr. Centipede.
Alright, so question 2. You all should know, how many days do you have to enter a listing? The faster you answer, the more points you get too. Correct answer is 5. 20 people. You have 5 people to enter in your listing. It is free for the change of status, but once you have that signed agreement, it is 5 days. Who's Homer? Raise your hand. Oh, great. Okay, next question. Name the program main listing offers you for floor plans. This one's a trick question too. Good job, flow plan. Yes, so if you haven't used this platform, it's wonderful. You can take your cell phone around the perimeter, and then within 24 hours, you get a full floor plan design of your home. So everyone should be using this. It's amazing in my opinion. All right, we ready for, we got 2 more questions to redeem yourself. All right, if you receive a quality insurance notice from main listings, those wonderful emails that your DB gets to, how many days do you have to respond to fix the issue?
What's your choice? 5. I don't know. I know. I mean, they gotta do it I have, right?
The correct answer is 2. You have 2 days to fix the issue when you make a boo-boo. Oh, we have new leaders. Woo! All right, last question. What's the name of the form you use when you are not able to add your listing to the MLS within 5 business days? Good job. Waiver of MLS benefits. All right, we have a winner. Who's Android? Oh, Beth.
Of course it is.
Awesome. All right, you guys. For those that don't know, I'm Courtney Mullins. I'm the president for this year. I would like to call this meeting to order. I'd first like to welcome, is Karina here? No. All right, next one, Beth. Beth, come on up. Stand and do the pledge of allegiance.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I'm sorry about that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I would like to thank Red Door Title for being our sponsor today. Unfortunately, Brittany had a housing issue, so she had to run out the door. But those that have not used Red Door Title, they can do closings anywhere. So feel free to reach out to Brittany, and she does have more information on all the desks, and she did provide, I think that's candy on the desk as well, or tables. All right, if anyone new is here, please stand up and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Julian Gilbert. I work for Berkshire Hathaway.
Welcome.
Go, ladies first.
I'm Alice Miners, also Berkshire Hathaway.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Haynes, and I'm from Maine Moving. Thanks for having me. Ian Rowley, also from Lynch Group and Maine Moving. Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Hey everybody, I'm Bridge. I'm along. I'm with Realty of the Year.
Welcome. Awesome. So we have a lot of speakers today, and we have a packed full schedule. So first up, I'd like to have Ashley Black come up here to learn about MAR Foundation. Ashley recently just presented during a leadership training that I had, and there is just so much you do not know about MAR Foundation and why it was created. There are some really nice flyers that are on your tables, so look at that, and I'll pull it up on the board too. So come on up, Ash. Courtney's way taller than me.
Okay, so I'm Ashley Black. I am the 2024 chair for the MAR Foundation. For those of you that don't know what the foundation does, we give money. We are the money people. We will be part of presenting the checks today. We do all kinds of cool stuff. So just to give you a little bit of history, it was formed in 1989. At that point, Maine was actually the only state in the nation that had a foundation, and not every state does, but we were the only one, so kind of cool. We're ahead of everybody. And basically, the purpose is to increase housing opportunities for people of low income. So what we do is we give out to Dignity First, Habitat for Humanity, they're doing, you know, if somebody needs a new roof, you know, they need to stay in place, they need, you know, need wheelchair ramps, things like that. That's what we're looking, those are the companies and the, organizations, thanks, that's the word. I saw it in your head, you see. Those are the organizations that we look to work with. So just a little side note, if you guys have an organization that you're like, oh my word, this would be so great, I'd love to be able to have us work with them, you call up myself or Suzanne and we get that approved if they can. There's certain little things, so, but feel free to ask any questions. So the Realtors Affordable Housing Fund is made possible by a lot of different financial institutions. For those of you that don't know, when you give over that earnest money check and that's collecting interest, that interest is going to the Realtor Affordable Housing Fund. If you're wondering, hey, does my agency do that? Because some agencies opt in, some do not. Ask them, and if they don't and you just want to give us some money, feel free. I'm so sorry, I have my glasses today, that was a poor choice. And so we do two different things. So we have our our matching grant program, which is what you're gonna see today. That's when, you know, we raise, as GBAR raise $6,000, and then the foundation comes in and matches it with another $6,000 and makes it 12 for that organization. So that's what you'll see today. In 2023, the foundation allocated $180,000 for matching grants to be distributed, and that's across, you know, the state with all of the different boards. Since 1993, just a little fact for you, MAR Foundation has matched $1.4 million in matching grants, so that's pretty huge if you think about what we're doing. So then the other thing we do is the competitive grant. This is what we do behind the scenes that not a lot of people know about. Organizations send us applications, you know, and it's really fun, we all like go over them, and then in May we sit down and it's like a 6-hour process, and we decide who of those gets it. Last year we gave out $80,000, and some of them are $10,000, some of them are $5,000. We had a banner year with funds last year, fundraising, and also thank you for all of your fines, because those go to us as well. So this year we are actually giving out $120,000, which is a huge increase, and we're really excited about it. So again, it's just, you know, supportive housing services, emergency lodging, building materials, and to winterize, pay for labor, homeowners that may fall behind on their mortgage payments and are without money to pay for heating costs. Heating costs is a big thing that we deal with. So again, we do a lot with that affordable housing thing. I feel like we're just kind of an invisible part of the association. So if you guys have any questions, I would absolutely love to answer them. And again, those little flyers are really helpful. And if you go to the, my brain is really working well today. Convention, yeah. We sell raffle tickets, which we previously, so in 2022, we sold $2,500 worth of raffle tickets. This past year, 2023, we sold 5,000, and again, that just goes towards what we're doing, you know, competitive grants and the matching grants. So please look out for us to support us, and we would love that. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashley. When she came and presented, I had no idea. And these are big stats that we have to be sharing in our community too, of how much we donate and give. So next up, from our golf tournament, we had raised $3,000. So we're looking to rematch those funds for Habitat for Humanity. So Melissa, come on up.
funds from the golf tournament. And then this ended up being, you know, another little thank you. So I feel like we kind of kept a hat trick this year, and we appreciate that very much. This is a room that I don't have to explain to the challenges of housing right now. You all know how costs have increased from real estate to construction costs, and the need just continues to grow. So any support that we can garner along the way is very welcomed, but particularly from a group that understands the challenges we're up against. So thank you very, very much.
All right, so next up, I want to have Emily come on up to talk about our next check. Emily has been the one that spearheaded all of this, and we've had them talk at one of our meetings too, so I'll let Emily.
Cool, thanks Courtney. I'm gonna ask Jamie Beck from Dignity First to come up for presentation of the funds, representing our check from the proceeds of our Spirit of Giving celebration of $8,750. And MAR matching funds for a total of matching funds of $13,700.
Wow.
Because we are also matching the $5,000 we already gave them in the spring from the bowling event. So that means we are going to give you a check for a grand total of $22,450.
Hey, do you want to hop up in this photo?
Wow. We want to give all of our immense thank you to this group, both the Greater MAR Foundation and Greater Bangor Association of Realtors. We had a blast with you guys last year with the bowling-a-thon and the end of the year celebration with the Holiday Giving Spirit event. We are so appreciative of all of the time and effort that you guys have invested and the money that you have invested in being a part of the abundant community that we are growing. This is really going to do big things with going towards our permanent supportive village of homes for people who are unhoused. And we are so grateful to have all of you on board with this and helping us through this process, because we know that it takes abundant community, and we're so glad you guys show up for us and with us to show up for and with our unhoused neighbors. Thank you all so much. I look forward to what brings the next year through our community. Thank you.
Those are some big numbers, you guys. That's a lot. So make sure you really share it with everything we've done for being involved. So next up, Emily, come on back up here.
I knew I should have stayed.
Emily's going to introduce our guest speaker that you all have been waiting for.
Yes, today we have Dr. Susan McKay, Senior Program Manager at UMaine Advanced Structures and Composites Center. Dr. Susan McKay is a Senior R&D Program Manager at the University of Maine Advanced Structures and Composites Center. She has 25 years of experience in materials chemistry, product development, and manufacturing at both large corporations and early stage companies. Prior to joining UMaine, she was the founder and CEO of Sarah Helix Inc., where she led the commercialization of their ceramic nanofiltration technology based on a patented DNA ceramic nanotechnology coating. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Susan McKay.
No. So thank you all for inviting me here today. A show of hand, who has heard of the BioHome 3D project at the University of Maine? Yes, okay. It was by far the most successful, what we call a moonshot, that has ever been undertaken at the University of Maine or the Composite Center or any institution, probably in the state of Maine, in terms of the number of views and the amount of interest it has generated, which clearly has not died down in the more than a year and I think 3 or 4 months since the unveiling in November of 2022. So the reason we do moonshots at the Composite Center is to really raise awareness and to demonstrate sort of a vision. And that's really what we do best at the center and at the University of Maine is capture a vision of how to best use the resources of our state and solve critical and global problems, really. So we focus on very near to our heart, near to our director's heart problems, things like creating access to low-cost energy, and in this case, creating access to affordable homes, and at the same time do it in a very sustainable and renewable way. So our recent focus on affordable housing is well known in this group. It's a global problem, and in the state of Maine, estimated to be about 80,000 by the year 2030. And you can see globally, it's a huge problem, and it's a problem that doesn't really differentiate between first world and third world countries. One of the main reasons for why it's such a problem is the construction industry lags all other industries in terms of productivity. This can be related to a lot of factors. About 30 to 40% need to be addressed by things that you can do by licensing or by creating new laws, creating new zoning. So those are things that we can't address by technology. The other 50 to 60% have technology solutions. One of these is to digitize the construction industry to create to capture the information and the risk and the digitization of everything from the concept of the house to the actual installation of the house on the site. So all the pieces that get touched in between have to be totally disruptive to make this a much more efficient industry so that we can create, the technology exists now to build affordable housing, but it's really, there's so many roadblocks into adopting these technologies. So what we're focusing on is 3 pieces of about 7 ideas that are at the table that McKinsey captured in a seminal paper about 10 years ago, how to make the construction industry more efficient. We focus at the Composite Center on looking at modular construction, so how to rapidly construct homes, use more sustainable materials, so for longevity of this as an industry, and finally the utilizing advanced automation that already exists and is used across many industries. So the BioHome project basically came about through a partnership between Maine Housing, WBRC Architects, Maine Technology Institute, with funding from the Department of Energy, Advanced Manufacturing and Materials Technology Office. That funding flowed to the program that I manage, which is called the SMART program. And this is a program between Oak Ridge National Laboratory and the University of Maine, where we focus on our expertise in bio-based materials and using these in advanced manufacturing processes. Oak Ridge brings to the table their vast experience in these manufacturing methods. They essentially invented at their facility the idea of large area additive manufacturing or large 3D printing. If you haven't been, the Advanced Structure and Composite Center was founded in 1996 and is currently the largest research center at a university in the state of Maine. And it provides opportunities for students from multiple departments to get experiential learning. It has nearly 140 full-time staff and nearly 400 active people working in the center annually. And we currently do more than almost 50% of the research dollars at UMaine flow through our center, funding research across all sorts of anything to do with infrastructure and green materials that we can touch. My program is primarily focused on finding innovative uses for Maine's forest resources. And one of the ideas is to incorporate it into materials that can be used to print things like homes. Here's your science slide, there's not a quiz. But essentially what we've done is we've taken nanocellulose, a technology invented at UMaine. We figured out ways to incorporate into materials that we print with and make them incredibly strong. And in the end, this will result in even needing less material to print homes with than what went into the BioHome. And we do this all by using what was installed in 2019 as the world's largest 3D printer. So essentially we pump pelletized material, we melt it, and we push it through an extruder that has been programmed to follow a certain path, and it can build additively any kind of structure. So if you've seen your kids or anyone play with, or you yourself have played as a hobbyist with a small 3D printer, it's roughly the same process with some caveats. And the engineers that we have are really world leaders in understanding how to design, how to take a structure and redesign it to take advantage of what 3D printing involves, which is really putting the material where it's needed rather than everywhere. So you can actually customize the structural elements as well as the aesthetics. So you can do what the goal is to do mass customization. So it's not only just making houses quickly and efficiently, but you can actually customize them in the way they look aesthetically. And that's really the dream of additive manufacturing for housing. Here's a little animation of the printing process. So this is our print bed. This is one of the modules that was printed. We were able to do floor, walls, the structural elements, the ceiling, and even an interior wall in a single print path. This took about 6 days to do each of these modules. They could then be fitted out inside with the wiring pushed through the chaseways, wiring, plumbing if needed, and insulation was blown in. Then they're craned, and they're transported and craned onto the site, all in less than a day. So you can put together a small, this was a 600 square foot home, in a half day it can be set up on the site and connected. And then of course, the post fit out still needs to occur. We put a roof system on, we painted the exterior, did some little landscaping and fitted out the inside as well. Here's a little, this is what it looked like in its finished stage. Here's a brief tour, we have longer ones. You can see the inside is very pleasing. This is the unfinished walls. So this is just a 3D printed material. This shows that you can put conventional building materials on site, inside, drywall, gypsum wallboard. But you can see one of the things that we accomplished that we really wanted to was not only trying to figure out how to build efficiently and in an automated way, but to make it look beautiful too, because this is someone's home. So the idea is, how can we access the look and feel? This is ongoing research. This was the first big thing we did like this, and as far as printing a structure that you could actually live in, although it's not a building code yet, but. This is a good example. Of course, we put it up in November of 22. Since then, we've had like minus 40 degrees, we've had 90 degrees, we've had a post-hurricane wind event, we've had really, so we've been able to cycle it through in the year that we were funded to collect all the data through the Oak Ridge funding. We were able to study it for a year. We did structural analysis and we did sensor it to understand the build envelope, because those were our key deliverables for our research piece. So what we were charged with is, could it hold, like what was the build envelope like? Is it livable by main standards? So MHA gave us two things. Structurally, it had to meet snow load requirements. And then for the R factor, we had to meet it with the walls. So that was step one, was just to accomplish this. And then at the end of year one, we were able to take the sensor data and say, okay, this is promising, because it maintained what it needed through all these external fluctuations in temperature and the two small heat pumps. We were able to show that we were within the livability requirements, which is really like you don't want mold growth inside the 3D printed structure. And that's it. So it's short and sweet. But I thought I'd leave time for questions, and thank you for your attention.
Is there an opportunity for the public to see these homes?
Yeah, it's actually the easiest thing to see at the center because it's outside. So and mostly if you want to tour the center, you need to give us 5 days notice. But for the composite center, you just reach out to the front office on the website and you request a tour. And I believe, at least during the summer, sometimes they'll offer like open houses, or they were last year, like on Saturday morning, every few Saturdays, they would have one where people could just drop in. So yeah.
Can you tell me what your code problems have been? What are you running up against with code?
Well, we haven't really run up, since we're a university, we research, we focus on the research aspects of 3D printed housing. But I'm part of an organization that's national that looks at digital construction through the ASTM, and we're creating standards for 3D printed construction. And it's mostly, initially all the 3D printed houses were concrete, but now there's a couple companies doing composite printing. One is more like concrete, one's less. None are like what we've been doing. So essentially it's all the things you would care about. You need to meet, a lot of them, like, do we meet IBC? Like, which building code do you meet? Like, we're doing more off-site manufactured housing, so we would probably build to the larger federal code, right, rather than this local code. But so it's kind of, I mean, there's materials, do we want to be able to just print with the materials and not have to put gypsum drywall? I think most people at the local level, that won't happen for a long time, even if the materials improve tremendously, because I think those are things that people are just gonna err on the side of safety and caution. So there's some the low-hanging fruit is just to do the testing to prove that it's not toxic when it burns, and you know, this what I would call the easier things to meet. The insulation, that was fairly straightforward. That was pretty easy to meet, build envelope. I think code is one issue. I think the other issue is just acceptance. And really, the kind of things we're working on now is really designing for access points. Like, it looks great, but we all know in 10, 20 years, people want to remodel. You know, how do we, it's really thinking that way. So we're really thinking along those lines, like the lifetime of a house. What are the different types of design features you need to have, and how do you access it to repair things, or, you know, if they have plumbing and things. So those are the sort of things we sort of, it's more of a comprehensive or holistic approach. Yeah.
What is one of those babies gonna cost?
I mean, we have a cost model built out. So we worked with a construction, you know, expert and put together what we call ones with sensitivity factors. So if like the material costs this much, it would cost this much to print. Honestly, with current prices and with the current, what we believe is the optimal printer that you could build today, you could, we estimate you could print exactly what we printed as far as like the most of the house, and with pretty comparably to what stick-built go for now, so under 300,000. And that would be if you built a facility that could do that you would get some economy of scale by being able to print several at the same time. So we're kind of, that's our, what I would call our ceiling. And then to drive down from there, you have to optimize the process and make the materials cheaper, so.
How many square feet for that?
600 was that one.
Is that right?
Yeah, we would look at, for this technology doing whole house printing, you would always want to stay single story between the 800, I think we would target 800 square feet. There's other methods we're working with a company in New York, which is leveraging additive manufacturing for mid-rise buildings. And that's sort of their approach, is do like more panelized and just, you know, ship, flat pack, ship the elements. So we're working on both types of, well, more than just those two, but those are the two main ones we're working on at the center.
Did you guys test for like off-gassing of the product for the air?
I mean, we don't have like a sensor, we're not collecting all the air in the building, but the materials are well known, so we could do that. I mean, we can test the materials we added to it. There's obviously a lot of other things in that. There's the, you know, we put a lot of other materials in it. So when we just test our material, the piece we're adding, that test we do, not necessarily in the house. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
At $500 a square foot, have you talked to any bankers about would they finance this kind of project? Because that's pretty high per square foot cost.
Well, we wouldn't sell at that price. That's just how much we estimate it would cost today. I'm actually married to an appraisal. So we interviewed him for his expertise. And what he told me is when if someone were to commercialize this technology, obviously you'd have to do stuff like we're doing. Like you'd have to find a way to finance the first ones independent of bank loans, because everyone's gonna need a comparable. And so as far as like strategy, I sort of picked his brain. Like how would you go about, because that's his specialty, is looking at things that are unique and different. He doesn't do home appraisals. And he said, yeah, that's a really challenging, but it's obviously happened in other states because other people have bought 3D printed homes. I mean, it's not that new, it's just these materials are new.
And if it meets type guidelines, that's what the lenders look at, so
Yeah.
it would fall into play, but it would take time, it's like tiny homes have to be.
Yep, there's a process. I think what you are seeing is a sea change, not only at state level, so you've got the regulatory side, and you've got the industry side. The industry itself understands the disruption, because they don't have workforce. So when I sit in those meetings and the labor people are in the meetings, it's a very multidisciplinary approach to like looking at digitization of construction. The labor is not coming back. There's no estimate that shows they're going to be returning post-pandemic to the levels they were before. So I think everyone realized there has to be a disruption, because we won't make up the shortfall doing business as usual, so. There's an appetite for change, which is unique. We don't have all the answers, but we have a lot of them.
Awesome, well, thank you. Well, that was interesting. My favorite part was the little video. Yeah, it was super interesting. I'm excited to see what the next 10 years brings with this technology. Maybe we'll have you back then to kind of share more, right?
I'll be retired, but.
All right, so we're ahead of schedule. Get it right down, right? So if you're not familiar, MAR and same with GBAR, we have a legislative arm. And we're getting super involved in a lot of stuff in the last year. And if you haven't followed, we have our Realtor Rally coming up on, I believe, April 2nd. So we're looking to get a bunch of us together to go down, and that's when it's really fun. You get to see them all in action and get to meet your senator and everything. So if you're interested, I'm gonna be sending out a little reminder. Carpooling, I love that. Maybe switching some cars around too. Looking to get a good amount of us to go down together. So one thing, putting on my thinking cap, is I wanted to start maybe getting some updates about city council and what's happening. Because a lot of things are changing and happening, and we are very blessed and honored to have one of our own members sit on Bangor City Council. So I'm gonna have Carolyn come on down and give a little bit of update what she's been experiencing. I just told her this 5 minutes ago. So she's gonna give an update, and maybe going forward we can hear from you every month too. So come on, geez.
See what happens when you get involved in politics.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for asking me to speak. I'll try to give you an update. I'm really not a politician, and I know what am I doing in politics. I love Bangor, that's what I'm doing in politics. And I love real estate, and I love the people that I've worked with for housing and the needs that we have found people as we've worked with them coming in and out of the greater Bangor area. So what have I seen in the 3 months? Some really exciting things. The city council is very receptive. They have finally realized that housing needs to be focused on not just the unhoused, but the people looking to be housed and to upgrade, and all the issues that we have in real estate, and the families that need affordable housing. And not just, when I say affordable, I think that word can be what's affordable. What's affordable for me may be different for someone else. So we're focusing on what we call the missing middle. Those that don't have a lot of assistance for the lower income, and those that don't have enough money to really go buy the house they want. So the missing middle is the average person that is struggling with that middle price range where we have no inventory for. They are starting to put out workshops. I'm strongly suggesting they reach out to realtors to participate in these workshops, because we're the grassroots, we're out there. We probably know the housing industry as well as anyone. We're out there every day. And I know they're starting with apartments. I think there's a few realtors going to come to a workshop tonight. We're going to start focusing on zoning. How can we change the zoning to be more cooperative, to encourage more development, even on a smaller scale? What can we do with the houses we have? What can we do to work collaboratively? For the city itself, I'm so psyched to see an unveiling of a project that's going to happen down by Pickering Square, behind the bus station. They're going to do some upgrade there. If you go to the Bangor City page, you'll see the rendition of it. And it's really exciting. They're going to put some little touch kiosks up there. They're going to have marketplace back down there again for crafts and arts. So that should become lively again and a lot of fun. Last night we had a sketch and sort of a prototype unveiling of a proposed recreation center. This is going to be really cool. It's going to have the youth center, and off in Griffin Street. It's unofficial. It's just it was proposed last night. but something's going to happen because the Sawyer Ice Rink, we've been throwing, good money after bad for that, and it probably has a lifespan of 3 or 4 years. And hockey's a big part of our community. This will have pickleball courts, tennis courts, daycare for the kids, and a host of a lot of things, an all-in-one complex. We have 41 acres there, so it can be a multi-use facility, and really provide a lot of services for our community in general for all kinds of needs. So that was exciting. I encourage you all to email me. It's really easy. If you go to the Bangor page, you can watch the meetings. You can Zoom in a call. You don't even have to leave your house. Raise your voice. Tell us what you need. And I really want to hear the voices from here because housing is our priority, and you people know it best. Get involved and say you want to be part of the task force, and tell us what you need for zoning to be changed, and work with us. And we're going to be doing a lot of that in the next couple of years. We have 3 seats coming up, Bangor Council this fall. So think about it, get involved. If you don't want to be on council, get involved on a committee, or at least just talk to us. We need to hear from you. So thanks for the opportunity.
That was awesome for giving you absolutely no notice. This is the stuff I like to hear you guys. I think it's time for us to really get involved. And if you haven't, go on the City of Bangor website to sign up for those emails to get those notifications. And then Carolyn, I would love to see a monthly email from you too. You provided one for me before and I absolutely loved it. So maybe we can get on that together too. So I was going to say, does anybody have any comments or announcements? Yes, Mother.
And just to piggyback off of that, a lot of times we talk about Bangor. Go to your towns, Hamden, Hermit, all of them. We need to be the voice of real estate, and I'm heading up the Affordable Housing Committee, and we're talking about doing some kind of educational videos. We got all kinds of brainstorming, how to go about making an accessory unit. There's another option for people to add housing to the area, and maybe that little builder needs to know the next steps to make that happen. So those are things that we're looking at. So if you have ideas, throw them our way too.
Yeah, so if you want to be part of that committee, let us know. All right, awesome. Does anybody else have any other announcements? Emily?
So tomorrow at noon.
Go on up so people can hear you if they have any.
I've never been accused of that before. For those of you who are not aware, it's been almost 2 years now since I bought this little parcel of land over off Essex Street. It's 12 acres, and I got approved. The neighbors hijacked the approval process pretty much, and then they appealed it, and because the city had changed what I made application as, I made application as a major subdivision. The city said, oh no, it's gonna be a minor, and the judge agreed with the neighbors that it should have been a major. So I had to go back to the planning board all over again. I got reapproved, and so what we've had in the works for probably 6 months, maybe more, is the very first townhouse unit. It's 60 single-family homes set up as 30 duplexes with 9 acres of open space around it. The square footage of the units is a little bit over 1,500 square feet. And Doug David, you can do the math on this. We're gonna sell it at $265 a unit. The very first unit, we ran a contest last fall, and I didn't choose the veteran, but we had a committee choose, and there is a deserving veteran who will be getting the keys to the very first one for free tomorrow. Let me tell you. So I would invite all of you at high noon tomorrow to GPS 139 Lancaster Avenue. If you want to come by, we've got one unit that we're giving away. We've got another unit you can walk through. get a feel. We've got 3 different buildings up now, and you can just get a feel for what it's gonna be like in there, but I hope to, more than double what we have for current inventory for affordable new construction. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you for saying all that, Emily. Does anybody else have any other announcements? All right, we're early, I believe. I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Thanks, you guys. See you next month.